Hey, this is Steve with Cardiac Cycling. Today we're going to go through some tips and tricks that Kelly and I have learned since we purchased our 2021 model Travato 59KL. It's on the ProMaster 2020 chassis. She wanted me to get all that in. Anyway, the L being the Volta. L for lithium, not for... So the first tip is, how do you pull a drawer out? At some point, you will have to pull a drawer out. Don't ask me why. All the reasons vary, but at some point, if you don't have to, you'll want to. So the first thing we do is we open the drawer and we pull it as far out as it will go. And you can see that's going to be with the back pretty much flush with the front of the cabinet. There are little tabs. Right here is one, and there's a matching one on the other side. On the right hand side, what we're going to do is we're going to push this tab down, and on the left hand side we're going to lift the tab up. So on the left hand side, what we're doing is we're going to be pulling it up like this. So you push down on the right, pull up on the left, and there's your drawer. Out she comes. And of course, as Kelly said, the smart thing to do would have been to empty it to begin with, but
what do I know?
When your hard-headed or stubborn husband wants to do it without emptying the drawer, your hard-headed, stubborn husband does it without emptying the drawer. So to put it back in without dumping the contents, I'm going to ask my lovely bride to help me get aligned on that side. What do I need to do? Up, down?
You're not even in there.
I know that.
Well, you're okay.
Am I?
Yeah, maybe up a little bit. There you go.
Am I in it?
I don't know. It went in the hole.
Okay. And we'll just slide it in, and it's going to get a little bit snug before it's all the way in. And
it's not in there.
And that's what happens if you don't empty the drawer before you do this. Or if your assistant doesn't really understand what's going on. And it's always easy to blame it on the assistant. So what I have done to get on the track is I have to push this side in a little bit. And I don't know if you heard it, but it clicked. Voila, it's done. That's trick number one. It was a little tricky, wasn't it? All right. Second tip has to do with being stranded and needing a tow. So inside your jack kit should be a tow hook. It's actually an eye bolt. Trick number one is getting all the Velcro off this thing. This is it. Notice, it is fully enclosed. You don't want to go to the hardware store and get an eye bolt that has machine threads on it that are the right dimension, the right pitch, etc., and will screw in, because you will not find a fully enclosed eye bolt at your hardware store. Believe me, I tried. I wanted to get another one just to have a spare, and frankly at the time I thought I needed two, but you only need one. And in your owner's manual it shows you where this will go. If you ever need a tow, promise you, the tow driver will know where to put this. You just need to know that it's here with your jack. Leave it there, because that's where your operator's manual, your owner's manual for the ProMaster tells you will find this. So, very important. If you don't have one, go to the Dodge dealer. buy one directly from them. Why? Because you want to get one that fits your vehicle. Things change with each model year of a vehicle. We all know that. So the best thing to do is just go to your dealer and get one. Why should you have one? Won't the tow driver have one? Yes, they will, but they charge about $25 to $50 is kind of the range. You can get one of these for less than $50. It's going to cost about 25 bucks. That's tip number 2. Tip number 3. If you have a Travato, you have the Truma heating system. And you have these little vents, which have no directional vents on them. You can order the directional vents directly from Truma. I will put the link for this in the description below. I've confused my camera operator. She doesn't know that while I'm saying this, I'm thinking, okay, I'm gonna put a little snippet of the vent right here. We're gonna leave that in. Anyway, so you can order directly from Truma. Truma has a U.S. headquarters now, a U.S. distribution center. So you can order directly from them, so you don't have to worry about exchange rates or travel time. This is what it looks like, and I'll have the link for this in the description below. Tip number 4. This one's going to take a little time, and this is not for the faint-hearted, and that is to cut the bed board and do a second piece. So here you can see this is the original cut. Anyway, yeah, so here's the compartment number 1, here's compartment number 2, and what we did is we just went along this line and just cut it on out. Why would you do this? Because underneath here, and we're going to show you a couple of important things. You got to keep watching to figure out what they are. We're going to pull the screws out and we're going to show you.
I don't know where those screws are. Oh, I would think they are.
So there's one. And I could use some help with the light to find out where the next ones are.
They're on that side. I think there's just 2.
I thought there were 2 on this side.
I think there's just there and there.
Okay.
Back there.
Oh my. Somebody must have used a drill to put that one in. Miss Kelly. So the first time you do this, there are a number of different screws in here. And I think up here at the front, originally, there are 2 here. So as you can see, there are holes right through here. And I think that there was a screw in here somewhere. So you had to pull this thing up to get it. And there was most certainly another screw right here. Now, that doesn't mean that's where they're gonna be on your rig, but just know there are likely more than 2 screws. And as you're unscrewing the back, this will save you some aggravation. There are these snaps. You can see this snap here. There's another one underneath here. I don't know if you can see it. Leave those alone. Those are not what's holding the board down. It's these guys with the round heads and these wood screws that you'll see. They look like wood screws, like sheet metal screws as well. So that's what you'll need to take off, and voila.
That saves you from removing the entire bed platform.
Yes, it does.
When you don't need to.
So, right here, these are, Kelly.
The heating, your battery heating pad, that's where they're plugged into.
So for the Volta system, they're in a climate controlled compartment, and for the winter time, these guys have got to be plugged in. Why in the world would you ever need to access those plugs?
Because sometimes it's not smart enough to turn on the heating pads when it gets below a certain level. and your state of charge turns blue and it won't take a charge anymore until the batteries reach whatever temperature it's supposed to reach in order to take a charge. So the first time that our battery or state of charge turned blue and they wouldn't accept a charge, and you don't know if the heating pads are coming on or not. So I contacted Volta and they suggested accessing that outlet that they are plugged into and unplugging them from that outlet and plugging them into an extension cord and plugging it into that extension cord into an outside power source to get the battery heating pads heated.
Tip number 4, when you have a chance, take this bad boy out and finish sawing along here. The pro tip, if you decide to do that, is turn everything upside down and you will cut from the back side. That helps you avoid having to deal with the Froley springs. Because as you can see, to take a saw, whether electric or even a hand saw, through here, dealing with the Froley springs as well as with this, I don't know what you call this gimmick. You call it smarter than Steve, that's what you call it. It's just a lot easier to flip it upside down. And I recommend drawing a line on both sides and then put masking tape over the line. And then on the side where you're going to cut, draw your line one more time on the masking tape. So why do you do that? The masking tape will help prevent splintering. It sounds crazy, but believe me, it actually works. Tip number 5, I think. I may have lost count. So one of the other things we did when we were putting in the Topher water meter, we ended up at one point taking this entire panel off. And when we did that, we went ahead and took out the aluminum bars that go from the driver's side of the coach over to the passenger side. And over here you can see there's these little receiver hooks or brackets. And you use those 2 bars as support for the cushions, which you can use to make this into a full-size bed. Well, we weren't going to do that because it doesn't make a whole lot of sense for us, in our mind, to have this aisleway blocked. That means you have to do a head over heels to go to the bathroom. Or you have to sleep with your head down at this end and risk bonking it on the TV when you get up, or bonking it on the cabinet when you get up, depending on, anyway. So we never intended to make it a full-size bed. Didn't make any sense to have the cushions in here, and we kept running into those metal bars because they will eventually work themselves out, and they make a rattling noise as you go down the road. So they're out, they're in the house, along with the cushions and other things we've taken out of here that we realized we didn't need. Tip number 5, take those bars out. Well, that's it for today. Hope you found this video useful, if not at least entertaining. If you did, please give it a thumbs up, which means that you like it. The more likes a video gets, the higher up it goes in the search engine within YouTube, and the easier it is for other people to find it. Again, thanks for watching. Stay safe, be well. Hope to someday see you on the road, either in your RV or on your bicycle. Thanks again.
These days we'll be on our own bicycles.
If you enjoy what you see on this channel, please click the subscribe button.